Yeah, as a player growing up in the Northwest, it starts to get cold. The days get shorter, it gets darker outside. And I think there's this population of ballers that love that time of year. They love the grittiness, the toughness, the overcoming adversity. You wake up and you go to the gym and it's dark outside. You go to school, you finish practice, you come home, it's dark outside. I think if you don't love the work, you're not gonna make it. You can't just sit around and freeze to death. You better get going.
Gonzaga was generally about 4th or 5th in the league, and then it all changed. And Mike and his class of players were the ones that founded it.
In order to become a good defender, it's just work. You're just out working people.
He's going to guard the best player, and they're not going to get a shot. I mean, that's how good Mike Nilson is on defense.
Spokane is the perfect home for Gonzaga basketball. It's the perfect home for NBC camps because it is full of hard-working, great people that work for something bigger than themselves. I've been an NBC camper since 1990, and you have those sticky statements, those mantras that you just say over and over again, and they go down to your subconscious. I love the idea of hard work pays off.
And he went all the way to a crucial member of the foundation of how great Gonzaga basketball has become. The defensive cornerstone of it all.
I've had the joy of knowing and coaching literally thousands of kids, and probably one of the all-time greats is none other than Mike Nilson.
A young man on the foul line, coming back home, played at Shorecrest High School right here in Seattle.
Went to Shorecrest High School and loved playing basketball there.
Mike had a great high school coach named Mark Morris out of Shorecrest High School.
I had a great senior year.
Ironically, I went to Anacortes High School.
Winner goes to state, loser's done. And we were playing his old alma mater.
They were down 2 points with about 7 seconds to go.
And it was just everything I dreamed about. We were in the timeout, and he says, here's the play. This whole season is riding on Nilson.
Shorecrest rolled the ball out.
And I didn't even think about it. I just rose up and hit a three.
And he shot this shot
and ended up winning by 1 point. And it was awesome.
So, you see, I go back a long way with Mike Nilson. He beat my high school, and I cheered for him.
There's a couple moments that I'll never forget. And that was one because, my dad came out from the stands, and he just hugged me and told me how proud he was of me. He was at every game and flew all over the world, to see me play basketball, and it felt so good to make him proud. And yeah, I haven't thought about that moment for a lot of years. Dads and their sons, boy. And then I got a phone call from Fred Kroll. If you fly over to Spokane, you can stay at my house. I'll cook you this great steak dinner, and I'll get you a walk-on try at Gonzaga. And that was the best news I'd ever heard because I didn't have any other options.
That night we fed him a big steak because lions eat steak. And you're going to be a lion tomorrow down there at Bulldogville.
And he was true to his word. It was the best steak dinner I've ever had. And as we're walking out the door, he handed me a pair of NBC shorts, and he said, these are your lucky shorts.
Then you go down there and you kick rear end.
I stepped on the court. I didn't know any of the guys, but that first shot dropped, and the next one dropped, and the next one. And it was one of those things where every missed rebound kind of found its way into my hands. Even when I got beat on defense, I kind of swipe out the ball and strip it. And I probably played out of my mind that day. I remember calling my parents saying, I'm going to Gonzaga. First day I meet this little skinny kid from Portland named Matt Santangelo, and we just were like two peas in a pod. Wherever he went, I kind of was his right-hand man. And what I loved was he loved hoops probably even more than I did.
And never really left each other's sides from that moment. So literally, it was the first day on campus. There was a connection that was formed that, you know, still exists today.
He had somehow found his way into the key to the gym. And so Friday nights when everyone else was out doing what they're doing, him and I were getting shots up, playing one-on-one and rebounding for each other. I don't know if I would have really made it without him that first year, because not only did he make me a better basketball player, but he was kind of my family away from home.
You know, Mike came in as a walk-on. No spot was guaranteed, no opportunity was guaranteed.
Walk-on is a tough deal, and it's very, very unlikely that'll turn into a scholarship.
Being a walk-on really messes with your confidence, because I keep thinking, well, if the coaches really wanted me here, they would give me a scholarship. You know, what do my teammates think about me?
I knew he was highly capable and that he needed to be playing, and I believed that would come about.
That's why that freshman year was still such a huge anchor for me that I can go back to, because there was times where I wanted to quit, and with the help of my family, with the help of my teammates, I didn't. And that just gives you that confidence. I can do it. I can do it.
So he had the intelligence to say, this is my role. Then he had the humility to say, I accept my role. And then he had the commitment to say, I'm gonna be the best I can at my role. Like, who does that? Not very many people can do that.
It just takes one person to dive on the floor, and all of a sudden, everyone follows suit.
The whole thing rises. Not only is he locking down his opponent, but he's making the rest of us better, because we have to live up to that standard.
What NBC Camps has been about, what Gonzaga basketball has been about, what I want to teach the kids that I train is you leave it all on the court. That means you always have your teammates back, and when you step in those 4 lines, you give 100% of your energy.
His journey shows why it's so worthwhile.
I worked so hard for that scholarship. And once I got it, I don't know if it really meant as much to me. It was more about the journey.
And I think that was a huge validation for all his work that he had done. And, you know, I'm kind of this like, okay, now I belong. And I think that really allowed him to start to make that next step into more of a leadership role.
It was a great carrot. It was a great thing to have in front to work towards. But what I realized, it was about the work. That's what really, I think, got me from being the walk-on to being the scholarship player to eventually making it in the starting lineup, is when I was comfortable being me. You can't be comfortable if you haven't put the work in.
When it happened, it was a godsend, and we were thankful.
Nilson found a way to impact the game in such a positive way because of his defense. Fine, if I got to go stand in the corner on this end of the floor, I'm going to do everything I can on this end of the floor to make an impact, and that led to the Defensive Player of the Year award.
It just goes to show you the power of a team. You don't have to have 5 Michael Jordans. You don't have to have 5 of the best players. You have to have 5 guys that really give their all and contribute to what the team needs.
Oh, what great hustle!
And then you got to look at the progression of Gonzaga basketball. There's always a Mike Nilson. He was the prototype. Now Gonzaga, the coaching staff, can always point to these team blue-collar guys that really make the whole thing go.
Nilson has been all over the offensive glass in the last 4 minutes since he's entered this ballgame. Young man from right here in Seattle, Washington. Once again, fighting.
The Elite 8 run was so fun. Outside of our squad, there were no expectations. And of course, we were probably just naive enough to think, why not? Why not beat Stanford? You know, why not beat Florida? We just have to take it one game at a time.
Florida, a number 6. From deep again.
There's that man again.
Shot clock turned off. Calvary. Hall, 8 to shoot. Hall, the runner. Loose ball. It's good. With 4
All of a sudden, that Casey Calvary tip in. It was so incredible because I wasn't even in the game at the time.
It's over. Gonzaga, the flip
it's the highlight of my career, and I wasn't even on the court. After we had beat Florida, as we were walking off the court, I look up and I see my parents, and they're both crying, and I just fist pumping, and I could feel the tears just right up here. It was just such a good team feeling, where it didn't matter who hit the last shot, it didn't matter who scored 20 or who played. It was just about something bigger than yourself.
I remember first game at West Coast Conference, tournament, our senior year.
They were right there at the peak of the season, and he's such a key player and so important, and a nanosecond.
And then this injury happened.
And his season's over.
I tore my Achilles, and I was so disappointed and heartbroken, and I spent the whole West Coast Conference tournament and the whole NC2A tournament, I watched from the bench, on my crutches.
He could have been really depressed, he could have gotten really discouraged, and he didn't.
But guys that have great character and great inner resolve to never quit, fight through those things.
But in his mind and the outward perception, it's like, we just keep working, we just keep working, we just keep working. And those habits were there long before the injury happened.
Matt Santangelo, he brought the whole team in together, and I'll never forget this too. We're all there, and he looks at every single one of the guys and says, we're playing for this man right here, and he pointed at me, and I could just feel this bond, like what a huge gift to be able to have all these guys that you love and respect and been through the battle with rally around you and give you a West Coast Conference tournament ring and a Sweet 16 ring. So that definitely bonded me with those guys for life. And the people we had here, they just made my life just so much greater. What else can you say, but it's been the best time of my life.
That ability to take adversity head on and the ability to put a positive light on it, and that optimism is really kind of at his core, what he is.
I love all of those hurdles that I've had to come over, because now when something comes up in my family or my work life, you have this quiet knowing that you can make it through anything.
I always admired his heart, his work ethic, and his love. And those three together are probably a little bit invincible.
And I think if you can master those skills, it's even more important than mastering a crossover, a jump shot, because those are the skills that are going to take you and make you successful in life. Just never give up. And not that it's going to be easy, but who wants easy, If it was easy, it wouldn't mean as much.
Final seconds tick off, and the Bulldogs of Gonzaga will make history. This will be their first NCAA tournament win, and a capacity crowd is on their feet.